Very excited to be a part of this great event, the Game Changer Conference 2024, organized by the one of my favorite human being, Chidi Miles, on behalf of his organization, and I'm very honored to be a part of this great event. And I hope that during the few minutes that you're gonna follow my speech, you're gonna be impacted, you're gonna be inspired, and you're going to get tools that will move your life towards the right direction. My name is Bayonle Arashi, and I title my message Success Simplified Life and Career Tools. Hopefully, today I'm going to give you basic tools that can get you from where you are to where you want to be. A little bit about me, just for the sake of this conference. I am a correctional officer with the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. That's what I have done the last 7 years. That is along with me still operating Midas Football Academy in Nigeria since 2008 and starting the same organization here in the United States in April of 2023. The academy has been one of the my babies. The reason I feel I can use to impact the next generation of leaders using soccer, football as a tool to mentor, to inspire, to lead young people. As we know, in our country, Nigeria, more importantly, and in Africa as a continent, the game of football is huge. An average of 8 out of 10 young persons are inspired to be a football player or to be an athlete. So that's something I have done for over 2 decades now, so to say. That is comprising of my career as a broadcast journalist and an entrepreneur in that industry. I have authored two books. One of them is the best-selling book titled "Roadmap to a Successful Football Career." I published it in 2020. It's still available on Amazon and your local bookstore. So if you are an aspiring soccer player or athlete, because the book is not just for football player, and I want to apologize ahead that I'm going to be using the word soccer and football intermittently, so that you can forgive me ahead of time. Soccer is what we call it in the United States, but football is what we call it in Nigeria. And they say when you live in Rome, you probably start acting like a Roman. So that's probably what inspired that. The book Roadmap is a book that you should get. Paperback, ebook is available in every format that you probably read step by step of how you can become a professional and successful in that field. And my second book detailed about my experience working in the criminal justice system, which has further enhanced my leadership capacity. I'm a student of leadership, as I always call myself, because I feel that leadership is the beginning of everything. Everything rises and falls on leadership. Our continent, Africa, our nation, Nigeria, is where it is today because of lack of quality leaders. So I make it a life education to be a student of that particular subject. I have lived in three countries, my home country, Nigeria, for a little over 33 years before I relocated to the United States. But in between that, I was in South Africa for 2 years for broadcast education and to try and relocate earlier. And I've been in the US for a little bit over a decade now, over 10 years, so to say. So my career is comprises of my many years in media, football, and leadership, and I feel that's what qualified me to be able to have the opportunity to share this stage with all the amazing people that have spoken before me or hopefully after me. And I also want to say that I wish I was with you guys live, and hopefully next year, definitely. Game Changers Conference 2025. I will definitely be with you guys in live in person, God willing, and we can actually exchange more ideas. But you still have direct access to me right after this message. And that's just a little bit about the person Bayonle Arashi. Today, as I said, I'm going to give you 6 tools for success from where you are at the moment or where you think you are at the moment, which is you're worried about life, you're not sure what tomorrow holds for you. You're not sure if you will be successful at the sport you are playing, because I believe there are many of you that are currently students or trainees of soccer academies, or you are in school, or you are actually a student of life, or you are a young professional that is aspiring to do something, or if you are one of those young Nigerians and Africans that believe that you can get anything done through a shortcut. I hope this message will really resonate with you, to know that there is no shortcut to success. And hopefully, I can get you to where you want to be simply by you taking notes and following almost every step I'm going to be sharing with you. You're going to have a clear path to success. After this message, I believe you're going to become a better version of yourself. You're going to start getting results as soon as you start putting in the work, you start following the principles that I'm going to share with you in this particular speech, and you're going to become a person of success. And hopefully, just as I have obliged you by sharing a little bit of my success story with you, you also will in turn share with other people that will be coming behind. So let's move forward. For as I always say to most of the young people that I talk to here, one of my job with the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, as I've chosen as a leader, aspiring leader, is to go to schools to share with young people. And I've always shared with them that everything that we do, belief is at the foundation of it all. So belief is the foundation of excellence. Your belief system is what determines who you are and where you want to head. Just as failure is a set of belief system, success is a set of beliefs that can also be copied and modeled for our use. So a lot of people do not understand this concept. And whenever you say they think, oh, believe, what do you mean by belief? As simple as it sounds, it's what you can easily process, and before you know it, you start getting things done in the right direction if you follow the steps. And it's actually simplified in two ways. We have the fixed mindset and we have a growth mindset. Two different mindsets. I understand firsthand because I grew up in Nigeria. Like I said, I was in the country for at least after my 33rd birthday. So I had kids. I had all of my children there except for my son that was later born in the United States, and I have businesses there. I had a long career in broadcasting in Nigeria, and I've started my business in Nigeria, so I understand that our system, our culture, most of the time, kind of put us in that fixed mindset position where we always feel like we are not good at anything, or we avoid challenges every time. From our parents at home, that because of the way they were also brought up, because of their environment, because of their culture that limit their belief, they somehow transfer it to us. But you have that opportunity today, if you haven't already walked that path, to move from that fixed mindset position into a growth mindset. And belief system of anyone that you know can be modeled. You can model anyone that you know, that is your role model, that you want to be like. You can actually mirror and model their belief system, and that is by practicing growth mindset. You have to believe first that everything can be learned. There is nothing you want to do. It could be sport, it could be vocation, it could be your education, it could be a particular subject, and you have to believe that you can learn anything. And you also have to believe that you have to embrace challenges, that there will be challenges on your way to that path, but you have to embrace it wholeheartedly. You have to believe that, okay, whatever challenge come to me, I must be able to embrace it and use those challenges as a way for me to climb up. There is nobody that you know out there today, no one, athlete, professional soccer player, professional football player, any professional in the field, a lawyer, whatever person that you look at and say and see as a successful person, they have at one point switched from a fixed mindset position into a growth mindset. And I'm making sure my message today is generic and not specifically for athletes. It's for everyone. Everyone can use this same system to go from where they are in their fixed mindset position to the growth mindset position. What are the steps that you need to take that will take you from that growth mindset position to from fixed mindset position to a growth mindset position? The first one, I actually call it growth practices. The number one is that you have to know and believe that everything that happens to you, they happen for a reason, and there is a purpose behind that thing, and that purpose serves you. For example, I will use myself as a person of illustration in this circumstances. From me working in the broadcast industry, I work with MITV as a 19-year-old in 1999 after my technical college education. And from there, I worked with Africa Independent Television (AIT) for over a decade till I left in later in 2009, and I started my own organization. And when I started my organization, I was like, okay, how difficult is this going to be for me to move from working and getting paid to staying? I want to focus on my own. I want to start my own company. But I knew that there would be a lot of challenges, and but what did I do instead? I focused on it. I used those experiences that I learned in my work with MITV and AIT to serve myself. That okay, these are the experiences I've learned, and I use it to start Midas Football Academy. I have two TV shows on radio, two TV shows on TV and one on the radio. But when I came to the United States, I had to start all over again. I had to remove all of that thing that I've known that okay, I'm an executive. I was a principal officer at MITV and AIT before I left. And when you come to the United States, everything levels you. So that happened to me. And rather than me whining about it or crying about it, you have to get to work. And guess what happened? I found myself in a second industry, in a second profession, so to say. Now I work in correction, and I use that correction job to learn leadership. I started focusing more on leadership because I choose to say, okay, rather than me looking at what kind of job I'm having, I started to see that, okay, what can this job teach me? What are the lessons I can learn from this job? And then add to me being a broadcaster, being an entrepreneur, being a leader, being someone that wants to own a football academy and use all I have earned to mentor the next generation. So everything that happens to you, they happen for a reason and a purpose, and it serves you. And so you have to always have the ability to adapt, to adjust your mindset from, okay, this happened to me, and use that particular thing to move from where you are to where you want to go next. It sounds simple, but life is that simple and straightforward. You just have to be willing to put in the work and actually focus on it one day at a time. The second growth practice is that there's no such thing as failure. They are only results. Everything that has happened to you up to this particular stage that you are watching this right now, you might call it failure. That they are actually not failure. They are practices. They are experiences that you are gathering, and they are only results that you have achieved. Don't see those things as a failure. You have not failed, you have only learned. Remember that if you as a child, I don't know if you had that same experience like we did while we were young, that we always want to go and touch and test a fire and see if this thing will really burn. And once you put your hands in that fire and you see that it burnt your hand, you will never go back to it again. You will know that okay, that thing is dangerous and it can kill me. That is a lesson. That was not a failure. I just mentioned to you that I worked in broadcasting, I had my business, but circumstances happened in Nigeria that made me to say, okay, let me relocate to another country and coming to the US as a 33 or almost 34-year-old young man, and I had to start all over again. But rather than me seeing all of that experience as, okay, look at how bad my life is, I remembered who I am and I used all of that experience, all of that failure, so to say, as experience, and they are what has continued to drive me to where I am presently today. So there is no such thing as failure. They are only result. Everything that has happened to you, you have to begin to see them as experiences. You have to see them as okay, as a step that okay, I need to use this as a way for me to move forward. They are not failures, they are actually experience. The third growth practice is that whatever happens to you or whatever that has happened to you, you have to take responsibility. Everything is your fault. Do not say it is my daddy's fault that I did not start playing football when I was 13 or when I was 10. It is my mom's problem that did not encourage me to start playing football very early. Nobody is supporting my football career, and nobody is asking me to, nobody is giving me money to go for tryout. Remember that this is your life. Your parent, two things you can't actually change. I share this every time. You cannot change the people that gave birth to you, and you cannot change the place you were born. Those things you cannot do anything about it. But what you can do something about is, okay, what you have been handed, how can you use that thing that you've been handed and use it as a way to move yourself from where you are to the next level? So whatever that has happened in your life up to this particular position, it's nobody's fault. It is your fault, and you have to take responsibility. If you now, as a 16, 17-year-old, I'm imagining that you are, and then you are still playing academic football, or you are still trying to find your way to the next stage of your career, what do you need to do right now? Is it, what do you lack? Do you lack money to go for tryout? Do you lack opportunity? Do you lack mentorship? Do you lack learning? How many books have you read this year about your career? How many videos have you watched about the person you want to be like? How many tryouts have you worked and earn money to go and attend? Have you taken yourself out of your comfort zone to go and seek adventure, to go and seek challenge? So remember, everything is your fault, and you must be willing to take responsibility. It is nobody's fault, and whatever happens or whatever that has happened to you, remember, you have to take responsibility. Everything is on you. So that is growth practice number 3. Number 4, it is not necessary to understand everything to be able to use everything. Just as number 3 was said, everything that's happened to you, you have to take responsibility of it, and you don't have to understand that, okay, this thing that has happened, what could I have done better, right? Remember that you don't have to, like, okay, let me process it, sit down and think about it, and whine about it and continue to complain about it. You have to be able to just use that thing that has happened and use it to move forward. And how can you do that? For example, if you know that you don't have a parent that can support your career, I have created several videos on my YouTube channel, which you can go see right after this speech, on how you can be able to find someone that can sponsor your football career. Chidi Miles, I'm sure, has released many books that can help you with this. There are so many resources out there, but you have to be willing to pick them up and learn. You have to be willing to pick those things up and move up from it. You have to be willing to put in the work. Nobody's going to do it for you. So it is not necessary for you to understand whatever that has happened to be able to use it. Use what you have at the moment to go to the next level. Number 5, because of my time, remember, one of the most important thing, that people are your greatest resource. You have to be mindful of how you treat people. You have to be mindful of how you carry yourself. You have to be mindful of how you communicate. Everything you say, and once you actually say anything out of your mouth, people, there is a general saying. Let me take us back a little bit. There's a general saying that say, "Do not judge a book by its cover." Guess what? People still judge a book by its cover. Why? Because people are people. But so you have to remember that human beings are your greatest resource. You have to know that, identify people that can help you, and say, find a way to reach out to them. If there's someone that you know that is very resourceful in terms of money, that has the financial independence, find a way to serve them. Find a way to ask them, what can I do for you? Do not let your first request be, how can you help me? Go to them and say, what can I do for you? If you ask anybody that question, even including me that I'm here, if you ask me, what can you do for me in Nigeria, there is always something I can ask you to do for me. And after one or two things you've done for me, naturally I will be willing to ask you, hey, young man, you've done this for me. What is it that I can do for you as well? This is always automatic. If you have never used it before, I want you to try it out today. People are your greatest resource, and you have to find a way to use to serve people, because you can use people. You cannot use people unless you serve them. That is the way the world works. The final practice I'm going to share with you is that you have to know that work is play. Your job, you have to make sure that it's something you are passionate about. If you are playing football right now and maybe you are forced to play it, I want to urge you to quickly start thinking and start looking inward, that what is it that you are passionate about? What is it that, if nobody pays you a dollar or naira, as it is in Nigeria, or whatever currency they earn, wherever you're watching this from, what is it that you can do for hours? That if nobody pays you for that thing, you will continue to do it. That is your work. And as long as you can do that and enjoy it, people will naturally pay you for it. Once you find what that thing is, you have to now start fine tuning it and making sure that you grow it up to the level of serving it. So when you fine tune your idea, if you want to be a soccer player, for example, you have to develop a particular set of skill. You have to be better than any other person in a particular position. If you are a striker, there has to be nobody that can score goals more than you. If they give you 10 chances, at least convert 8. If you're a goalkeeper, you have to be a good saver, right? You have to save many, many goals. If you're a midfielder, you have to know that you have to be able to mark all the time, walk back and forth from the field and be a workhorse. And naturally, things are going to be in place for you. This is the amount of time I think I am allotted. I think I've gone. Chidi told me that this session will not be more than 25 minutes, and I want to make sure that I do not exceed that. So, but in the meantime, you can actually follow my work. You can reach out to me, and I am going to, as a way of encouraging all of you that are watching, my organization, Next Gen Mentorship Network, which is built to inspire and equip young individuals like you with knowledge, skills, and confidence you need to become an impactful leader. You can reach out to, you can find out more at my website, bayonlearashi.com. I will mentor 10 of you for free for 1 hour each between now and the next 10 weeks. But you have to go to my website and sign up for the free mentorship for 1 hour only. My fee normally is $50 an hour, but I'm willing to give it to you for free for only the first 10 of you that go to my website, bayonlearashi.com, follow all my social media platform, and ask any question regarding your career, regarding whatever you need help with, and I will be willing to help and take you from where you are to where you want to go. And those are all my contact details out there. And I just want to say thank you for having me, and congratulations to Chidi and all the group at the organization for an amazing Game Changer Conference 2025. I want to say congratulations to everybody at Home of Ballers, to all the athletes, to all the volunteers, to all the other speakers that have been a part of it. It's been my pleasure being a part of it, and I really hope to continue to inspire you. I hope that this message and this lesson, you guys will use it and take your career to the next level. And I just want to say I love you all, and God willing, next year I'm going to be there live and to talk to you guys in person. Have an amazing convention. Enjoy yourself. Stay safe out there, and continue to work on your career. I am always rooting for you. Have an amazing one.